Ryan Klingpunt is the family and volunteer manager for Two Rivers Habitat for Humanity, and he has worked very closely with this family and getting everything lined up in order for today to even happen. When you go through the application process, I have to imagine there are a lot of people who apply to get a home. Walk me through that process and how this family was chosen.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, the sad truth is that there are far more applicants in our area in need of affordable housing than we have the capacity to build for. So the application process is very competitive. For this particular home, we had about 300 to 400 people on our waiting list or our contact list that we notified. We received around 50 full applications, which in itself is quite a task for the families to complete. And then we did our process of narrowing that down until we arrived at a kind of finalist list. So we look at current living conditions of the families, we look at their finances. We have three criteria: need for better housing, an ability to pay an affordable mortgage, and a willingness to partner with Habitat. So that means that the family is lower income but can afford the affordable mortgage that Habitat will set them up with. It means that their current living conditions don't suit them, and it means that they're willing to contribute sweat equity to their own home.
Now, Habitat doesn't always build homes for a family of 9. This had to be a little bit more unique in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll build for whatever size family that we end up selecting.
But this isn't the average.
But this is not the average, no. We've had a couple of larger families like this in the past, but this is one of the biggest. 8 children. Their mother, Amina, is an incredible mother. The oldest daughter, Deco, is kind of like a second mother to a lot of the younger kids. Yeah, between the two of them, they're wonderful at taking care of their family and doing what needs to be done, like applying to Habitat for a better home.
Yeah, and a lot of folks would think it's a Habitat home, it comes to these families for free. That's not the case. Not only do they have to pay a mortgage, they also have to put hours in. Talk about the hours that the family put into making this home theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. We call this a hand up, not a handout. So the families are working hard to improve their own lives. We're just giving them the tools to do that. So this family put in over 300 hours of sweat equity in the construction of this home. Primarily Amina and Deco and a couple of the other older kids. They were here, through the hot summers, through the cold days, working just as hard as any volunteer out here. And we're really proud of them and the work they put into their home. And it's a way for them to build pride of ownership in their home and build some useful skills and knowledge about how their home is put together as well.
How much time goes into putting this together? From the application process, well, not the application process, because that's more for the family and you have to go through them, but from buying the site and then getting the materials, the groundbreaking, how many months is this?
Sure. This site actually is kind of unique in that we got this site from the county. It was a tax forfeited property. There was a home on it, which unfortunately we couldn't salvage. So it started with us tearing the home down, salvaging what materials we could to bring to our restore, and then we built the first house to the east of this one, and that took us most of a year. And then we were able to start on this home, and that home also took us a little more than a year with COVID slowdown on our volunteers. But a typical build will take about 12 months from when we first break ground to completion.
And then what? Now the family will get the keys, the family will move in, but that's not the end of their relationship with Two Rivers.
That's right, yeah. So the way we're able to make these affordable for our families is we take a look at their income, not at the value of the home, because we want to build them a safe, energy efficient home, and it doesn't always turn out to be the price that they need. So we'll take a look at their income and make sure that their monthly payments are affordable to them, and then we'll make up the difference in that through donations and grants and things like that. so that the family isn't paying more than they can afford to get this home that suits their needs.
The volunteers, how many volunteers do you get? COVID had to have really played a part in the volunteers you can even use.
Yeah, absolutely. In the earlier part of this build, and in most builds, we get hundreds and hundreds of volunteers
That's a
on
nice
each
problem to
individual
have.
home. Yeah, absolutely.
But
It's
that
wonderful. But in this past year, we had to take a step back from having so many different individuals come on site, and we really leaned on our Carpenters Club. That's a group of guys, retired gentlemen who treat habitat volunteering as their hobby. They work 2-3 days a week on these homes year-round, and they've just been wonderful. Even more so on this home, they've gone above and beyond.
And they don't get paid for it?
They don't. They're entirely volunteers. I can't say enough good things about this crew. Lou, Louie, Gary, Mike, Doug. There's about 10 or 12 guys. Wayne Olson is just retired this year after about 20 years of volunteering. He's retired from volunteering, but they're all just amazing. They're the backbone of our organization, really.